No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
The following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the co-host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smackin' Raw podcast episode 125. I am your host, the Warden, Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-host today, my wife, the love of my life, and the woman that made my beard look so fantastic this morning. Kate, how you doing?
Very good, sir.
I mean, it's not a bunch of AKAs like Travis and you're not the queen of anything or, you know.
I'm pretty sure I'm the queen of shit. There's a lot of shit that I'm the queen of right now.
I'm just saying, like, in your intro, you didn't get that, but I think I did a good job.
You can, but, I
don't think we have time for that. Even though we aren't going to slide into Sasha's DMs because you won't take Travis's place in doing that.
No thanks.
We do have two bits of news and rumors. One, Andrade Cien Almas beat Rey Mysterio for the U.S. title at Madison Square Garden at a house show. So we have a new U.S. champion. I'm sure we'll get more of that on Raw this week. But that happened after Raw. So, new champ.
Cool.
And there are rumors flying left, right, up, down, and all over the place that Ryback might get signed to AEW.
Okay.
How do you feel about Ryback, Kate?
I can't. Wasn't his catch slang something about being hungry?
Feed me more.
Yeah. I mean, good for Ryback. Cool.
All right. Don't care. Yeah, I don't either. But it's everyone's making a big deal out of it. He's been gone from WWE for so long, and.
Yeah, but if I recall, he wasn't amazing.
He was up there close to the main event, but not quite in the main event. I thought he was going to get that push, and he never did. CM Punk, who I know you are a big fan of. Hey, Mark, glad you joined. Let us know how the audio is. Give me a thumbs up or something in the comments.
Oh, we're live?
Well, yeah, that's what live means.
I thought you were just recording.
No.
Oh, well, this is different. Okay.
Yeah. Should I not have told you that?
I could have gone my whole life and never known, but
okay.
We're here now, so.
Like I said, CM Punk, who I know you're a huge fan of, said that Ryback was unsafe and said a bunch of things about him, so.
Yeah, well, CM Punk's a whiny bitch.
Hey, we do not disparage Chicago talent here on the Smackin' Raw podcast. We respect that talent.
Oh, who gives a shit?
I do. My damn podcast.
So what? I'm entitled to my opinion.
You want to start with Raw? You want to go in order. I know you. You want to go in order.
Let's go in order, Toots.
All right. We kicked off Monday Night Raw with Kevin Owens promo where he's interrupted by Mojo. Kevin Owens wants Seth Rollins and the AOP, and Mojo's wants an apology for, the bitch slap and then the stunner. We get Kevin Owens defeating Mojo in a no DQ match.
And just a note on that DQ match. They've got so much shit under that fucking ring. Only tables and chairs. Only 2 items. You got so much shit under there. There are so many choices. That annoyed the shit out of me, and I don't know why.
That they didn't pick something else.
Dude, you've got so much more shit to play with, and you just bring out tables and chairs, and we just had TLC. We just had that shit.
Right, no, I got you. But I feel like kendo stick gets used a lot, too.
Yeah,
So,
but then there's also like, aren't there thumbtacks under there? I'm sure there was fucking Legos. So there's got to be other shit.
well, that's stuff that wrestlers specifically plant for the match. That's not just. There's not a
So?
bag of Legos just chilling under the ring every.
And they weren't thinking over the weekend, like, oh shit, I got a DQ match coming up. What can I use?
No, because Mojo was thinking about getting an apology, and KO was thinking about his other problems, like
Well, they
real
should both
problems.
fucking think ahead. All right.
Kevin Owens
Do your
then
job.
calls out the AOP. Seth tries to make peace and offers KO, a truce of sorts. And KO says, no, fuck that. And then KO gets beat down and supposedly sent to the hospital. We do not see him for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this whole Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins feud, and Seth Rollins and the AOP and Seth being a heel?
I mean, I'm not a fan of this Seth really at all. Like, it's not like, I don't like I'm a super bad guy, but I'm going to pretend like I'm innocent. And, well, I mean, like, now he's coming up and, like, being like, oh, yeah, I'm in charge of this shit. But, like, I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan. But I'm 100% convinced that he's the new authority and the AOP is, like, the new Shield. 100% convinced.
I could
I've
see
seen
that.
this storyline. I've seen it.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying that the AOP are the new Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
seeing as he was the architect. He'd still be part of that, but yeah, he's kind of portraying himself as the guy in charge. We need GMs. Like I'll say, I'm going to talk about it again on SmackDown. I've said it week after week. Like, we need GMs. We need general managers. There are things that we need general managers for to make decisions, to make things make sense for continuity. It drives me fucking nuts. So I'm enjoying this heel Seth Rollins just because babyface Seth Rollins was fine, but he wasn't entertaining. Like, I was not entertained by him.
Oh no, and I agree, but like I don't feel like he's going full heel.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, like at the beginning of this whole shit, he was like, "Oh, I'm not involved. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that." And he's playing like, "I'm trying to make you guys better." Like he's being a dick. But like the whole time he's like, "I'm trying to make you guys better, not just to be a dick." So, I don't know. I just don't feel like he's full heel.
Well, we'll talk more about that when we get to the main event. See if the main event and what happened there changed your mind. How'd you like?
Spoiler alert, it didn't, but go on.
How'd you feel about R-Truth and Akira Tozawa running through Times Square, fighting Santa for the 24/7 title throughout the entire show?
I mean, like, it's cute.
Yeah, the 24/7 title's just not doing it for me like it used to.
No, they're not doing anything with it. They're just doing the same shit week after week. Like, our truth is running away and people are chasing him. Somebody gets tagged the new 24/7 title. Our truth gets it back. People are chasing our truth. Like,
but that's what they were doing. That's what they were doing before, and it was still fun before. And I think, and Travis has talked about this, the only thing that's changed is there's no more Carmella, and I don't know why Carmella would make this better, but somehow she does.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I don't understand it, but she makes shit better. Go figure.
Just having her there yelling and hopping on Truth's back, and
the piggyback rides were like my favorite. So like, there's that.
And could you imagine like her piggyback riding R-Truth through Times Square, chasing down Santa?
Yeah, I can.
Like, it would have made it better. It was cool seeing Truth and Tozawa, like, after the ref said, "Fuck it, it's cold. I'm tired. I'm going home." Right. They're just like, all right, well, if there's no ref and can't fight each other, like, let's go have a drink. Let's go hang out. We're in Times Square.
Really, they went to go look for the Big Apple.
Yes. Do you think they found it?
Probably not.
You don't think there's like a Big Apple somewhere in downtown New York?
I mean, there's got to be like some like ironic like little apple sculpture, but like a Big Apple, probably.
Or like a store that's just called the Big Apple and it's got a Big Apple out front. I've never been to New York, so I don't know.
He's preaching to the choir here. I have no idea.
Oh, guys, I want to let you know because Travis isn't here and Kate and I watched the full episodes of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. There won't be a not good enough for Hulu this week, but Kate fast forwarded through some stuff that didn't entertain her. So in place of that, after we're done talking about each show, Kate is going to give you her not good enough for Caitlin.
Don't use my full name. That's weird.
It doesn't sound right when I do not good enough for Kate.
Why not?
Not in that voice. The not good enough for Hulu voice. Here,
Get
listen.
a new song.
Not good enough for Caitlin, or not good enough for Kate. Like, no, just it doesn't sound as good.
Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. But it wasn't good enough for me. So
yeah. Bobby Lashley defeats Cedric Alexander, and this is what I liked about Raw because Raw was actually taped last Monday, so the people in New York got 2 shows for the price of 1.
yeah.
But they didn't want to reuse the same talent, in that 6-hour recording period. So we got to see guys like Cedric Alexander come out and have matches, even though he lost to Lashley, which we knew he would. At least, he's getting some TV time. So I was happy for him on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was good. And I do have a note that is like, if Bobby wins, I'm going to be pissed. But I'm pretty sure he did win. And I also did have a note that I wanted to fast forward through it. But I knew Cedric Alexander was pretty good, so I didn't. So I'm going to put that like half. I didn't like it.
Okay. Drew McIntyre defeats Zack Ryder and then gives us his 2020 is the year of Drew promo, which was fun.
Yeah, I fast forward through that.
Becky comes out and challenges Asuka. Asuka and Kairi come out and cut a promo in Japanese. But they get the main point across, and shit. Come on. I don't know if we're still streaming or no. We're not streaming anymore, motherfucker. Are we back?
I think I'm back.
Yeah, I think we're back.
Sorry.
No, it's me. Anyway, I think we're still streaming. So, Becky challenges Asuka. Asuka wants the title shot. So Becky agrees because Becky's like, listen, I got unfinished business and I got to handle that fucking business. And Asuka's like, all right, well, you want me? I want your belt. Let's do it. Asuka 2 belts. And I'm all for that. So.
Asuka sounds like a 5-year-old that's had like 6 pixie sticks every time she goes out on stage.
I enjoy it.
Like just back-to-back pixie sticks. But.
Then we had Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy back-to-back squash matches. Aleister then comes back down to the ring because Murphy beats his opponent before Aleister's even able to get all the way up the ramp, and offers him a handshake. And Buddy Murphy, being the idiot that he is, shoulder thrusts Aleister Black, and Black Mass for his disrespect because you don't disrespect the Dutch Destroyer. Are you there?
Only thing. Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay.
The only note that I had on this, have you ever noticed that Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black kind of look similar?
Not even a little bit.
That's bullshit. Look at them like next to each other.
Yeah,
they
no, I
kind
have.
of look like
Not
they
even
could
a little
be
bit.
Twins.
No, you're insane.
Yeah. I'm
No,
not insane.
you are.
100%. I've got a whole note there that they kind of look alike.
Yeah, and also you wear glasses, so maybe your contacts were off that day. Maybe you should put your glasses on because they look nothing alike.
Maybe you should go fuck yourself.
my
vision is fine with my contacts.
I mean, I can, but I was kind of hoping you'd take care of that later.
Oh my fucking God, Matt.
Hey, this is what happens when you say shit like that on my podcast.
Next. It was Pew Pew, Ricochet, and another rando.
No, it was Tony Nese.
Yeah. Then, because then my second note was like, oh, never mind, it's not. It's Tony Nese.
Yeah. Pew Pew Ricochet, Pretty Ricky's what they call him, defeats Tony Nese. Again, all this stuff is just like, hey, we didn't use these guys, so we're going to use them now, which it's good to see some people that we haven't seen. Speaking of people we haven't seen, I have been waiting for Chelsea Green to debut on NXT since I heard she got signed. And she has not been on NXT TV since she got signed, other than the very first episode on USA where she just did like a cameo in the crowd with Deonna Purrazzo, who fought on SmackDown last week, I believe. But here she is against Charlotte Flair. And, I mean, it wasn't the best showcase of her skills because she's going up against Charlotte, but, you know, it wasn't a squash match. She got some shit in. Charlotte gets the win.
Although I do have a note that Green had like thrown Charlotte into the turnbuckle, or kind of like, and I forget which turnbuckle it is, but it looked like Charlotte like pretty whacked her head pretty good on like the second or bottom turnbuckle. So that was, I don't remember. It was like you had texted me about a move, and it was the move right before that.
Well,
you had rewound it or something like that. I think that's what it was.
I guarantee you I didn't rewind it.
Oh, also, I fucking hate chops. Like, you can just tell everybody's waiting for the chop to come. Just drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's part of her. It's part of wrestling.
No, I get it. But like, if you're trying, I don't know. Don't get it.
Yeah, I don't see anything in here from Monday where I text you about a move. So,
I don't remember what it was.
You asked me what I did with the scissors. I gave you like 4 vague areas in which they might be. You said okay, and then 2 hours later, you told me you're behind on Raw, and you said you haven't even started yet. You were doing dishes, laundry, and wrapping presents. But the presents are done and the clothes are in the dryer. And I said, nice. And then I said, thank you, love. And then,
we don't have to go through our whole text message. Let's get going.
We're almost done here. You said you're having a mole and then taking notes. And then I said smoke. And you said, yeah, not a mole.
Okay.
So. Yeah. What? No? You don't want to do that?
No.
Okay. I enjoyed it. Yeah, so Charlotte, Chelsea Green, it was an okay match. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Chelsea Green. That's it, just that she hit her head note.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I watched that match with you, and that's what it was. I rewound it for you.
The next morning. Yeah, because we watched it on Tuesday, and you rewound it. Yeah. Told you.
You were making it sound like I rewound it, and you said I text you something, so I would have not been with you.
Okay.
I was confused.
Let's move on.
You got me all fucked up, Kate. And that's not the only thing that had me all fucked up, because we also had a Liv Morgan promo.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on with that.
Well, she's getting a makeover, and apparently she's getting a makeover to be in those late night.
She's hanging out in the bathroom.
Yeah, like
she's just hanging out in bathrooms.
It's That's like one of the. Doing. It's like one of those late night We Are 18 commercials. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've watched late night TV before, so yeah.
Where they're in the bathroom and they're looking in the mirror and they're talking all seductive and sultry to nobody in particular about how they know things that you don't expect them to know, and blah, blah, blah. And then it's, We Are 18. Hi, Ozzy.
Ozzy, sit down.
See, normally I say shit like that, and then Travis laughs really hard, and it makes me feel good. But you never laugh at anything I say, so I don't know if I'm doing a good job.
I mean, I laughed at that, so.
Well, you're laughing at yourself, not laughing at me. You're not laughing at what I said.
I mean, I'm not laughing with you, if that's what you mean.
The OC defeat Randy Orton and the Viking Raiders. Rowan wins a squash match. Rusev defeats No Way Jose. And apparently, Rusev is just all of a sudden a happy bachelor. He's no longer upset that Lana left him or any of that other shit. He's good to go. and he's dancing. He got a couple kisses from some of the conga line and took off backstage to have like a 20-person fucking orgy and all their costumes and shit, because now that he's divorced, he's living his best life. Lana free.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The natives are starting to get restless. They're staring at me.
They'll be fine. U.S. title. Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. Now, this is the aftermath from last week where they told us that we were going to have a gauntlet match to determine a number one contender, and then there was no winner to that gauntlet match. So instead, Seth Rollins just got the title shot, even though he wasn't even in the match. This ends in DQ because the AOP take out Rey. They drag him up the ramp to go to put him through a table. And as all the announcers clear out, my boy Samoa Joe, who has been preaching that you don't just let the AOP and Seth Rollins run roughshod. You got to punch that bully in the mouth and let him know, who's boss and all that stuff. Sits there and tells them, I'm here to commentate. I ain't moving. And if I do move, it's your ass. So Seth comes in and apologizes because Joe gets up and takes off his jacket and rolls up his sleeves. He's ready to throw down. And Seth's like, listen, I'm sorry, guys. Just leave him alone. That's not our problem. And then as soon as Seth turns his back, he goes full heel and says, finish him, and sends the AOP to take out our awesome commentator, Samoa Joe.
Yep. My note says, fuck Seth.
So when I said he went full heel, you agree that he went full heel there?
Not 100% full heel, and I did see that, like, pointed look at me. Yeah, I get what you're fucking doing. However, there was a point during that beatdown where Seth was like, you deserve this, and then there was some random person in the crowd that says, no, he didn't.
Yeah, that was great.
I laughed at that.
I love when those little things from the crowd slip through.
Right. That was good. So, just to reiterate, the things that were not good enough for Kate during Raw. Are you ready?
Well, hold on. So, Rey Mysterio gets a curb stomp from Seth on the rampway, and Joe goes through the announce table. Yes, Kate. What is not good enough for Caitlyn Monday Night Raw?
Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins versus Drew McIntyre. Not good enough. Most of Becky's speech.
That's fucked up.
I know, but it was boring. Pew Pew Ricochet and not a rando Tony Nese. Randy Orton and the Viking Raiders versus the OC. Fast forward that shit. Rusev and fucking No Way Jose, which I feel is just a squash match, so pretty much just fast forward. And then that was pretty much what was not good enough for Kate on Raw.
So Monday Night Raw.
I suppose. I mean, there was some other shit that I didn't fast forward. I mean, I watched the Charlotte and Chelsea Green match. It was just slow. I watched Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. I watched some shit.
Monday Night Raw was
a lot of stuff.
Not good enough for Caitlyn. Monday Night Raw edition
we have not gone over NXT or fucking SmackDown yet, so
which is why I said Monday Night Raw edition. Not good enough for Caitlyn.
I did watch half of NXT with you, so keep going. NXT, let's go.
Not good enough for Caitlyn. Monday Night Raw edition is all of Monday Night Raw. That should tell you. True, but basically. NXT. So they did this weird simulcast NXT holiday special crap. We got my girl Kathy Kelly, who you persistently just, try to devalue for some reason. I don't know why. And then Sam Roberts, who you call the Ginger, but I don't know.
Yeah, before he started dyeing his fucking hair, he was bright ass orange. Look at early pay-per-views with his ginger ass in there.
Y'all tell me if you guys think Sam Roberts qualifies as a ginger in the comments, because I'm curious to know what you guys think, because I don't think he is. And then the man that I gained some small respect for while he was commentating during the NXT invasion and then completely lost it all again, Pat McAfee. I can't fucking stand him or his personality. He was fine as a commentator. I really enjoyed him as a commentator, but like as an on-air TV host personality, I'm just not about that shit. So yeah.
Is that the blonde dude?
Yeah. I didn't like 2/3 of that cast.
Yeah, I know you like Kathy Kelly.
Kathy's a shit. She's the Renee Young of NXT.
Doubtful. No. Mm-hmm.
No, she is. That's a fact.
No.
And you don't even like Renee Young, so why are you saying no? No, she's not.
Who said that?
You, when I was talking about WWE backstage, and you're like, I don't like Renee Young on those kind of shows, which is like all she does. Somebody downstairs at the door?
Not at all.
Okay.
I don't know.
We start off with a Roderick Strong Open Challenge. It is accepted from Evolve's Austin Theory. Before I keep going, you got any notes?
Just that Roderick Strong. I wrote Roderick Strong, aka Big Jaw.
Nothing in there about Austin Theory. You don't have any questions about him.
I've never heard of this guy in my life. They kept doing the fucking finger touch thing, where they're just like
another one of those part of wrestling things.
Yeah, no, I understand because a lot of people do it, but
Austin Theory is a new signee to NXT. He was in Evolve, which is kind of like the partner / feeder company WWE has a relationship with. They did that Evolve anniversary. A lot of guys like Drew Gulak and Matt Riddle and so on and so forth have all kind of come through Evolve before getting into NXT or WWE. Mm-hmm. So that's where he came from. I have not seen. I think I saw one of his matches, and it was at that anniversary show. But that's it. My favorite part about this match, though, was Roderick Strong wins, but they said he had his bells jingled, and I really enjoyed that when he got hit in the dick. One of those awesome comments from Morrow. Then we had Swerve defeat Jack Gallagher, and we got an upcoming show the night before the Royal Rumble. It is Worlds Collide, NXT versus NXT UK. And I feel like there's a British invasion going on because this is now the third week in a row we've had a British wrestler from NXT UK on NXT. We had Travis Banks the last 2 weeks. They just keep coming over and invading. I think that they want to get that T-Tax back or something. I don't know what's going on. But they need to stay over in the UK where they belong and leave my NXT alone. No, nothing. Not gonna. Nothing.
I was a little distracted by trying not to be suffocated by our dog.
Listen, I can't even do that joke. I gotta move on. Then we had Candice LeRae take on Tayanara Conti. Candice defeats Tayanara. Tayanara looks crazy. Like, she looks like the kind of chick like you'd sleep with and you'd wake up randomly in the middle of the night and she'd just be laying there staring at you, watching you sleep.
Yeah. I do have a note in here, and I'm not sure which one it was for, but it was, I'm sure this chick has been in porn.
Yeah, you said that to me. And I was trying to figure out why you thought Tayanara Conti. I mean, she's got the body for it, but like, if she has, I need to find it.
For it, but like,
I wouldn't say Charlotte has the body for porn.
Sure, it's what you said. Somebody would like it.
Somebody would like it. I'm just saying she's not built for porn. Her hips are way too narrow.
Says you, because you're not attracted to her.
No, that is.
If you were attracted to her.
I have watched loads of porn with women I'm not attracted to, and Cut
Can
it out,
you hear
Havoc.
him?
Yeah, I hear him.
Stop it.
Dominic Dijakovic defeated Bronson Reed. Bianca Belair defeated the debuting Shotzi Blackheart. That was a really good match. I enjoyed the shit out of that. And she's another Evolve talent that signed and got the call up and got a little showcase here. I've told you about her.
I actually have a bunch of notes on that one.
Okay.
I don't remember you talking to me about anybody named Shotzi because I do have a note that's, are you fucking kidding me? Her name's fucking Shotzi. But so also Bianca Belair's fucking entrance should be like, I whip my hair back and forth. Sorry, what were you gonna say? I feel like I interrupted you.
No, you didn't interrupt me. You're taking issue with her name being Shotzi when we've got Tyler Breeze or Fandango or The Undertaker, like,
I mean,
The Rock.
Yeah.
And Shotzi is where you're like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's where I draw the line is fucking Shotzi.
We had a guy named Bastion Booger, but damn it, no Shotzi. How dare you?
The fucking Shotzi.
I told you about her because when she had her match on the Evolve show, I called you in and had you look because I told you that she reminded me of Danny.
I don't see it now. Maybe the clothes, sure. But
yeah, no, if Danny dyed her hair green, she reminds me of if Danny, like, I feel like if Danny was a wrestler, that's what she would look like.
Possibly.
The way she dressed, helmet to the ring, all that.
Quite possibly. However, that whole match, well, the beginning part of that match seemed super stiff. Like it wasn't as smooth as it could be. And like it took me a minute and then they were like, "Oh yeah, this is Shotzi's first match or first televised match or whatever with NXT." Something like that. Like she was new.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense."
I think
she just seemed really kind of stiff in the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's nerves, and I also think it's chemistry between her and Bianca Belair. This is the first time they've probably locked up, so you got that little bit of feeling
and that's
out.
What I was. Right, that's what I was thinking, that it was either overly choreographed or like this was the first time they were ever doing it together.
Yeah.
You
know. And then our main event saw Lio Rush and Keith Lee.
I do have a note earlier in there that was like, where the fuck is Keith Lee at? Yeah. So I was super excited for this one.
We're going to take a moment to bask in his glory. Shh, just bask. They defeated Damian Priest and Tony Nese, or as Kate called him, that jobber from Monday Night Raw that lost to Ricochet.
That's right. I forgot. So I do have a note in here. I had to pause the TV to write a fucking note. And it was Keith Lee and the fucking Damian Priest or whatever his name is, the super big guy.
The Saint.
They were doing that back and forth, pretty much. They were doing that back and forth thing, and then Keith Lee fucking kicked him in the face and then leapfrogged over that motherfucker, and I was like, God damn. Keith Lee is amazing.
He is. Like,
he's so good.
It's not
he's incredible.
Right how athletic and fast.
No, he's so
all that he is for his size. It's ridiculous. Was there anything not good enough for Caitlyn NXT edition?
There was, as you know, there was a lot. Well, not a lot. I do have a note, and because I watched that Rod, like half of it with you, and I knew you weren't gonna fast forward through shit. So I do have a note that I wished I could fast forward through Big Jaw, Roderick Strong, and Austin Theory's match.
How dare you disrespect our North American champion like that?
What, Big Jaw?
Yeah, he is the best member of the Undisputed Era, hands down. B, the North American champion.
And then before I realized that it was that Isaiah Swerve or whatever.
Scott.
Yeah, before I realized it was Jack Gallagher, I was I wrote some super white guy.
Dude,
but
he was
you fast
so
forward through that
pale.
one.
He was so pale.
He was like reflective pale, and it's like, bro, at that point, wear some pants and get a shirt. Because,
And then you
like,
put him in the ring with a black guy, and it just makes him look that much whiter.
It's just accentuated. Like, it's awful.
It's bad.
So you fast forward through that one, or like the end of it or whatever. I fast forward through the Bronson Reed and Dominic Dijakovic match.
You're not down with a thick boy?
And friends.
You're not down with the thickness, Kate?
No, not really. Through every Kathy and Kelly Friends segment.
You are such a Kathy Kelly hater. Listen, if you guys are listening to this, get in those comments, tag Kate, give her shit, because she's a Kathy Kelly hater, and I don't understand why. I don't get it.
I don't like her face. Don't like her face. I did fast forward through the end of the Shotzi and Bianca Belair match. And that was pretty much it. That was so basically the only thing I wanted to watch was the Keith Lee match.
And you watched Candice LeRae, Taya Conti because I made you.
Pretty much, yeah.
So not good enough for Caitlyn, NXT edition. Based on what she said, was everything but the main event.
To be fair, the holiday shows were pretty much just like filler, except for like on Raw with Seth Rollins and like continued story. The rest of it was just filler, to me at least.
I feel like, well, like, I'm not gonna knock you because I know unless we're doing the podcast, you just choose not to watch NXT during the week because
I don't watch NXT, so I don't know a lot about it, and like I don't really I know Keith Lee and like the important ones because we watch the pay-per-views for them.
Yeah.
So I know that kind of stuff, but other than that, I don't know a lot of random people.
No, you're just like NXT. Super lame and refuse to watch the best show. Like I'd actually let you get off with not watching SmackDown or Raw if you watched NXT because it's the better show.
Like you'd fucking ground me if I don't watch whatever.
No, you can not watch.
Want me to watch?
You can not.
Like
I want you to watch
You'd
NXT.
Let me get away with it.
I wouldn't give you shit.
Get away with it.
I wouldn't give you shit.
Let me.
Yeah, I wouldn't give you shit.
Mm-hmm. I don't need your permission, Matt. I'm a grown ass woman.
I'm just saying you're slacking.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna. You won't even do it, so I'm not even gonna bother asking if you spit or swallow SmackDown or Raw or NXT because that's just a waste of fucking
I'm not
time.
saying that shit.
I don't know why I bring you on here.
Hey, you're learning.
SmackDown opens up with Elias singing us a song about tonight, and then we start off with what's supposed to be the triple threat for the number one contendership against Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. Baron Corbin comes down, carried on his chariot or whatever the fuck you want to call it, talking shit about Daniel Bryan and The Miz and why he's the only person that could defeat The Fiend and blah, 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 blah. And then Roman's music plays and Corbin gets all nervous and tells them to lower him down, but he only tells one side, so he gets dumped off his chariot, which I really enjoyed. And then by the time he stands up and recovers, he turns around and there's Roman Reigns to kick the shit out of him.
And I've never been happier to see Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Because I fucking hate Baron Corbin.
And see, we were debating this. We were debating this in the group because some people were saying Baron Corbin's not a good heel. Baron Corbin's a shitty heel. This and I'm like, listen.
Oh, he's a great heel.
So wow, I
can't believe him with a burning passion.
I can't believe we're actually on the same page.
100%. He is doing a great job with his motherfucking job. Like as a person, he's doing a great job with what he's tasked to do in his career. Get people to hate you. I fucking hate him. So he wins.
Because in the
he's
group,
a great heel if I hate him.
In the group chat, Anthony's like, I normally like heels. And I was like, well, then that heel's not doing their job properly because if you like them, they're not a good heel. I'm like, you
Right.
like cool heels. Baron Corbin's not a cool heel. He's not doing cool shit as a bad guy.
No, he's just being annoying as fuck.
And that's a distinction I'd like to make is, yeah, there is such a thing as cool heels, but really, you don't like heels. You like bad guys that entertain you. And a bad guy isn't always necessarily a heel.
It's
By
like
definition.
the anti-heroes. So like you had Stone Cold was technically a heel.
Supposed
The
to be.
Rock was technically a heel.
At first.
Right. So like you had right. So you had all these people who were technically fucking Becky Lynch was supposed to be a heel.
Yeah, we didn't let that
She
shit happen.
came out heelish. Right. And like it depends on the actual crowd. And like, yeah, they're cool heels because they're more like anti-heroes than anything else. They're not just like, I would say Baron Corbin is probably like a true pure heel because fucking people hate him. They actually hate him, you know, instead of being like, oh, he's kind of cool because he's badass.
As a matter of fact, the only people, and if you guys are listening to this and you guys are Baron Corbin fans, please let us know. But the only person that I have seen, or people that I have seen that actually like Baron Corbin, are females that want to have sex with Baron Corbin.
Oh, he's fucking disgusting. No. Gross.
Not you, but there are women out there that
Gross.
want that Corbin dick inside them.
Ugh.
Want that Corbin cock. And because we're talking about SmackDown,
Dude.
we're going to be talking about all sorts of cock on SmackDown. Cock's getting blocked, all sorts of cock. While we're on
All sorts of cock.
while we're on that discussion, though, so Roman attacking Baron Corbin led to a tragic series of events where that triple threat match got postponed. Baron Corbin refused to be in the match. He's asking some
Bitch.
random dude backstage to call the match off and get the match postponed. The guy's like, I don't have that power. And Baron's like, well, what are you here for then? And I'm like, well, he's not the fucking GM. There is no GM. So no one has that power. So maybe if we put Paige back as the motherfucking GM of SmackDown, we'd have someone come in and make those goddamn decisions. Hashtag, give me my GMs back.
Okay.
So then we get Miz versus Daniel Bryan that ends in a double disqualification because of Baron Corbin, who is in the gorilla position.
No, we didn't. You were skipping like all of SmackDown.
Hey, this is my show.
First.
No.
Yeah, but
no.
you're skipping the New Day and Bryan.
This is not how I do the show anymore, Kate.
I don't give a shit.
Well,
But go on.
it doesn't matter if you give
Do
a shit or
whatever
not
you were gonna
because
do,
it's
Because
my
now
show.
I have to flip through my notes. Go on.
It's my show. We do it my way.
Go on.
This led to us getting a singles match because Baron Corbin refused to participate, citing that Roman Reigns was dangerous and he didn't think there should be a match at all. It ends in double DQ. Corbin is in the gorilla position. He sends down his goons to cause a disqualification, saying that he's not going to let the match happen. When he hears that Roman Reigns is gone, he said, well, if I'll go down there and we can have the triple threat match now that I know Roman's not here. But Daniel Bryan and The Miz are pissed off, so they hit Gorilla and they attack Corbin and his court and run Corbin off, which then led to our main event. Roman shows up anyway, even though he supposedly left, takes Corbin out of the match, and Daniel Bryan defeats The Miz to become the number one contender for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Anything to add with all that?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end. But okay, go on.
We'll get to what at the end?
What I thought about the main event.
We're here. We're talking about it.
It's gonna be in a different segment in the Not Good Enough for Kate. So.
Okay. Now to get back to what Kate wanted me to do. Apparently she hasn't been listening to the podcast when she's not with me lately because that's not how we do the shows no more. The New Day and Braun Strowman take on Sammy, Shinsuke, and Cesaro in a 6-man tag team match. Braun Strowman wins. Then before he leaves, the New Day says it's the holiday and the fans need a present, and the fans chant. They want him to swivel his hips. They want to see him dance. Fans are chanting, "Get these hips." Braun Strowman, the monster among men, does the same thing that they've done to Big Show and Khali and so many giants that should be dominating and should be doing so much other shit, and he becomes a comedy segment, at least for a little bit. And I was really disappointed by that.
Yeah, it was cute, but it was weird. But so there was a moment in the match where Shinsuke was facing away from the camera, right?
Okay.
He was facing like Braun Strowman and the New Day or whatever, and all you see is him do this. So I'm wondering what else was going on, because there's a whole like symbol that. Yep, that's what I was thinking that he was doing, because I have a note. I was like, what the fuck did Shinsuke just do? So I don't know if that's what it was, but
for those of you
so
listening and not watching, I stuck my fingers in a V up to my lips and then shoved my tongue through it and wiggled my tongue around. Nice visual for you.
Anyway. Also, Braun Strowman did a headbutt, and I forget who it was against because I didn't write that down, but it was the shittiest headbutt I've ever seen him do. It was like a headbutt to whoever it was, a sternum. It was weird. Also, Sami Zayn should never be shirtless because that was just gross. And when
Sami Zayn has been shirtless his entire career.
I know, and he shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Like, he just shouldn't do it. And I can't believe I'm blanking on his name, but
Cesaro.
Not Biggie. No, not Biggie.
Not Big E, not Braun Strowman, not Sami Zayn, not Cesaro, not Shinsuke. Who could the last person in the match be? Former
I cannot believe I'm blanking.
WE champion.
Kofi. So Kofi was, before the whole get these hips thing, Kofi was like, cut the scary music off. And it was cute. I like that. It was adorable. But
I'm just, if you're gonna turn Braun into Big Show, like, let him at least get a run with the championship first. Like, I hate that WWE gets these giants and then they're like, we're gonna push them as these unstoppable, big, strong, undefeatable guys, and then fucking just not even halfway through, like a quarter of the way through, they're like, yeah, I think this was a bad idea, and they just shit the bed, and then they don't know what to do with them, so they have them do dumb shit because they don't know what to do with them because they're afraid if they put the belt on them, it's gonna be well, nobody can beat him. Well, look at what you're doing with fucking Brock Lesnar. Do with Braun Strowman what you do with Brock Lesnar. Why can't you do that?
Because he's not Brock Lesnar.
It drives me nuts. I don't understand things sometimes. We had Lacey Evans on a moment of bliss. Basically just kind of talking about herself and her issues and blah blah blah. And she's like, I'm not gonna stay up here and do this because I don't trust Sasha and Bayley, and we got a match. So she goes down to the ring. Her tag team partner, Dana Brooke, comes out, and Sasha and Bayley attack them on the entrance ramp, tell her that she might be a good mother, but she's a bad partner. So she runs up and saves Dana. And then we get the match. Boss and Hug Connection defeat Lacey and Dana. How do you feel about babyface Lacey Evans versus the Lacey Evans we were getting? The heel Southern Belle, had issues with Becky, all that shit.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't really pay Lacey Evans that much attention, but I really don't like this heel Bayley. So really anything that involves it, I really am not into, and Bailey's face bugs the shit out of me. Like, why would they let her go out with that much fucking makeup on and those goddamn eyebrows?
I don't know.
Drives me nuts.
My thing
Drives me
is,
nuts.
if you really don't like Bailey, we should be finding a babyface that you can get behind that you want to see defeat Bailey and take that championship off her. And clearly, from what you're telling me, Lacey, at least for you, is not that person.
No, and like, I mean, maybe, you know, in a week or so, like if they do continue with the segment, my mind might change, because I do like her. I like the pinup girl kind of like character. I like her character, but I do feel like she should be more heel than what she is right now.
Well, she's not a heel anymore. She's
I
facing
know.
Sasha and Bailey, and Sasha, got in her child's face and disgraced her in front of her child and yelled at her kid and
Yep.
all that shit. So
Yeah, and she kicked her ass.
yeah,
Went
so
nuts.
they're really trying to push her as this babyface character.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and like I get what you mean by, well, it has to be a baby face against a heel. Like I get that. But I don't think it has to really be that way.
I actually agree with you. I have argued with Travis plenty that we should be able to have baby faces versus baby faces and heels versus heels, and it shouldn't be a problem. But I think what you really mean, and I could be wrong here, so let me know, is you want more of what Lacey was doing as a heel in her presentation
Right.
on the mic when she's cutting promos than what we're getting now. She can still call Sasha a nasty
yeah.
and all that. She can still
Right, and it still goes along with that storyline. Yeah. No, I agree.
But what they did was, for better or worse, they've now latched onto, because they did the Saudi Arabia thing and some other stuff. They've let out that Lacey was a former Marine and her love for the troops in
Right.
America. And now they're basically turning her into, and I know this doesn't work for you because you don't watch Glow with me, but they're basically turning her into Liberty Bell from Glow. This all-American blonde, American Pie, supporter of the troops, former military, and they're getting away from what got her to the dance, which was that Southern Belle character, which was golden on the mic.
Bitchy Southern Belle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I loved. I thought it was entertaining, as all hell, but like, and like they kind of did that when it was Lacey, when it was her against Becky. I mean, Becky is technically like the anti-hero heel, and she was a heel, so I mean they technically did do that. But
Anti-hero
if it's
babyface,
black
because
or white, yeah, if it's black or white, yeah, she was a babyface, but I don't honestly think it's black.
Well, let's be honest. Becky really hasn't been like an anti-hero, heel, babyface, whatever you want to call it. That gray area since she got punched in the face.
She hasn't fucking.
Since she got punched in the face at SmackDown, that punch to the face altered her and her entire presentation and got the WWE machine behind her. And she has not been presented the way that the man was originally presented, where she was coming out and talking shit to Edge and doing all that shit, really, since after that whole thing happened.
Yeah. Which I think is disappointing.
Last but not least, actually the most important thing, and that's why I saved it for last, we see Mandy Rose backstage coming up to Sonya Deville, because Sonya Deville's over there signing some, what do they call those? Not catalogs, programs. I don't know who the fuck she was signing them for. She was signing them, giving them to somebody. We never found out. But Mandy's like, hey, I got my match against Carmella. Like, let's go. And she goes, bitch, you weren't there for me last week. The fuck am I going to be there for you this week? Mandy's like, well, I had Otis's sweat all over me. Like, I couldn't go out there, which I understand. Like, covered in fucking ham sweat. You really don't want to go stand out there in that dress and, blah, blah, blah. Like, it is what it is. But no, Sonya's salty as fuck about it. She's like, listen, I'm doing shit. When I'm done, if I can, then I'll come out there. Spoiler, she doesn't come out at all.
Nope.
But before the match, Otis shows up, and Otis is the sweetest, cutest, most just
I love Otis.
awesome little guy with his fruitcake that his mom made for Mandy, and he doesn't really know what to say, and he's giving it to her, and you could tell like he's just so in love. He doesn't even know like how to act or what to do, but he's trying. And I got so excited because last week I said I want this Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Otis Dozovich love triangle, and it might be fucking happening, and I'm so excited. So he gives Mandy the fruitcake, and she's like, all right, well, thanks, Otis. I got my match. And she goes out, and she has her match, and Carmella beats her.
Yeah.
It was a fine match. I mean, here's my thing. I don't understand why we have 3 hours of Monday Night Raw and one women's match on 3 hours of Monday Night Raw and 2 hours of SmackDown and multiple women's matches and segments on SmackDown when there's less time on SmackDown. But also, the women's matches are condensed, and I don't appreciate that. I think they should be giving these women more time. We didn't really need that much time for that 6-man tag team match. We didn't really need what
storyline do women have on Raw right now?
There's the Asuka Becky storyline.
Okay.
That's really it, and that wasn't even like a match. Like, it was Charlotte had a match against Chelsea Green, and that was the only women's match. But you've got Natalya, you've got fucking Sarah Logan, you've got Liv Morgan who's waiting to come back, you've got Charlotte, you've got the Kabuki Warriors. I think the Iconics are on Raw, but I could be wrong. I think they're on Raw. They might be on SmackDown. You've got talent over there that you can fucking use and do shit with, and they're not doing it.
Ember Moon, where's Ember Moon been? Is she still on injury?
Yeah, she's been on WWE Backstage with Renee Young, that show that you don't like because Renee Young, you don't like her in that role. That's what you told me. Anyway, she's been on there. Her leg's still in a boot. She's actually replaced Paige the last couple weeks, which made me sad because I really love that Paige Renee Young dynamic. But yeah, she's still out. I have no idea. I heard Naomi's on injury, but I have no idea where she is. I don't know how Nia Jax isn't back yet. I don't know where the fuck Tamina went. I think Mickie James might be out hurt, but I don't know where the fuck.
Because she had surgery on both knees at the same time.
Like a year ago. Come on. Suck it up.
Do you know how long it takes to get over an ACL injury?
I saw Triple H tear his quad and walk out of an arena under his own accord and finish a match. All right?
Yeah, because it wasn't his goddamn leg. It was his fucking arm. Of course he walked.
No,
like, fuck.
his quad.
You say that
babe,
it was
babe, his quad.
I thought you said bicep.
No, his quad.
I thought you said bicep.
No, his quad rolled up his leg, and he finished the match and walked out of the arena.
She was wrestling with 2 torn ACLs.
Yeah. So if she could wrestle with 2 torn ACLs, she should be able to show up with repaired ACLs. That's what I'm saying.
I'm so done arguing with you. I'm so done. Keep going.
So anyway, then we go backstage, and here comes Dolph Ziggler, fucking the cock block, Dolph Ziggler, hitting on Mandy.
Mr. Steal Your Girl. Fuck.
Yeah, no, I'm not calling him that. He's the cock block. He's not the show off. He's the cock block. I'm so mad at what he did to Otis, man. Like I know. It killed me.
What the fuck was that?
So he comes up and he sees Mandy and he's hitting on Mandy and asking him what they're gonna do later, and Mandy's kind of blowing him off. And then he's like, "Oh, I see you got me a present." And Mandy's like, "No, actually, Otis got that for me. His mom made it." And Dolph's like, "Well, I wouldn't feel too special. He's been giving these around everybody." And then he starts tasting it. Go ahead.
To my point, if everyone got one, why would he ask her if that was a present for fucking him?
Also, all Mandy had to do was go ask one other person, "Did you get a cake?" And that would have solved that problem. Do you know anyone else that got a cake from Otis? No? Oh, okay.
No.
So then Ziggler starts tasting it and says he heard someone found a roach in one, and then he throws it on the ground, and he takes his nice, clean, brand new Nike shoes, which I'm sure some of those sneakerheads out there were really pissed about, and shoves them right into the fruitcake and smashes the fruitcake. And then my boy Otis comes by Mandy didn't and this kind of pissed me off about Mandy. Like, you don't pick the plate up off the ground. You don't get someone out there to clean it up.
Right,
You don't.
just leave
You
it
just
there?
leave it and walk
You
away.
just leave it?
You just leave that present there and walk away. You don't even go find Otis and be like, hey, just so you know, Dolph said this shit and he stepped in it. You just leave? The fuck? Anyway, Otis finds it. It's smashed and he looks so heartbroken and so dejected and rejected. And it broke my heart.
It's so sad. It's really sad.
What's really sad is that in 2 weeks, I am more invested in a imaginary love story between Otis Dozovich and Mandy Rose than they have been able to get me invested in Rusev divorcing his real-life wife on TV for Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Kate, what was not good enough for Caitlyn? SmackDown edition.
SmackDown edition. Sheamus was not good enough for Kate. Neither was the Moment of Bliss and most of the Dana Brooke, Bailey, Sasha thing. So the Daniel Bryan versus Miz versus Baron Corbin. Technically, I did not fast forward it, but I did fall asleep.
Okay.
So
Did you see the end? Because I didn't talk about the end because you were going to bring it back up.
No, I did not.
After Daniel Bryan won the match, we got a Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt pops up and tells Daniel congratulations, but he wouldn't be as excited if he were him because he's not sure that the Fiend's quite done with Daniel yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I did see that, but I was half out of it. So.
All right, well, what was your favorite show of the week, or what do you think was the best show of the week?
I'm gonna go with SmackDown just because I fucking love Otis, and that's pretty much it.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think surprisingly, SmackDown was the best show of the week. I love NXT, and the wrestling's always great on there. And, there were some cool debuts and some really good matches, but I wasn't really invested in NXT this week because we weren't really forwarding any storylines on NXT. No. It was just kind of that throw together, it's on Christmas show, and Raw fucking sucked, despite the fact that we got to see people we didn't get to see. Raw was just, So, I'm going to go SmackDown because it was the one I was most invested in. So I'm spitting Raw. I'm spitting NXT, and I'm swallowing that salty SmackDown load.
So gross.
I love fucking with you. Yeah, SmackDown, best show of the week. All right, you guys know, if you guys are listening to us, that you guys can find us at facebook.com/creationworld, facebook.com/group/SmackinAndRaw. Also, creationworld.com, if it's up and running, should have links to where you guys can find us on YouTube or on Pornhub. But because I really want you guys to go watch us on Pornhub, it's pornhub.com/users/creationworld. Go there, subscribe, like the videos, watch me on Pornhub. Go watch my wife on Pornhub now because once Travis rips this video and uploads it, I think that, hey, I might be wrong. He might just leave this here and he might just rip the audio and it just might be the audio version. You might not make it on Pornhub because we went live. So maybe you lucked out.
That's okay with me.
I already put your mom on Pornhub. I guess only right I should put you on there too, right?
Oh, yeah. My mom's in the intro. That's my mom.
Yeah. And my lovely wife let her mom know that she knew she was in the intro, but let her know that the podcast is on Pornhub. And now anyone that goes to Pornhub can hear her voice on Pornhub when they were out last weekend, to which I got a prompt text message. What the fuck, Matt? Really a porn site? So thank you for that, baby.
Yeah, no, she thought it was hilarious. And she turns to me and she's like, I'm going to fuck with Matt. So, yeah, no, she doesn't give a shit. She thinks it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys can find us on Pornhub. Also, Patreon, patreon.com, Creation World. Go there. $1 tier, you get a shout out on any podcast you want. $5 tier, you get all 3 shows. Source material, Return to Wrestling, which I think is fantastic, and you guys should really go check out. And Space Stuff, which is a written comedy show that Travis and John put together and recorded. Source material has to do with the super flashy Arrow, DC universe, and the comic book origins of the stories that you see on TV, where they came from and what is behind them in the comic books. And Return to Wrestling is Travis and I going back in time to watch old episodes of Nitro and pay-per-views and talk about how shit sorry, my phone's blowing up. How shit Hulk Hogan and a lot of that shit was before we get to the NWO, which Travis says is the good shit. For $20, you guys get all of the other stuff and behind the scenes, a bunch of content that Travis recorded that we did not know he was recording. I still don't know when he is or isn't recording and what's going to be on there. I don't want my wife to go see this because I don't know what the fuck I said about her when I didn't realize that I was being recorded. That might have got edited in there because Mara hates me and probably is going to try and ruin my marriage. But the only way to get it is if you pay $20, Kate. It's the only way to get it. Sorry. Only way to get it. And you would also get Return to Wrestling, and you would also get everything else. For $50, you guys can, at Patreon, submit us a topic, and we will spend as much of a podcast, depending on what the topic is, as we can, discussing your podcast or your topic. It doesn't have to just be here. It could be Super Flash Year of Tomorrow. It could be movie, TV related over at the Creation Conversation. You know, whatever you guys want. So if you guys do that, you also get behind the scenes. You also get the 3 podcasts. You also get the Dollar Holler. And then for $100, which, by the way, cost Kate nothing to do, but she also married me, which, trust me, is a lot more expensive than the $100 you pay. You could come on, co-host the podcast with me or Travis or both of us. We could do the subject that you pick because you also get that tier included. You also get behind the scenes included. You also get the 3 shows included and the Dollar Holler included with that $100 tier. But you get to come on and actually do a show with us if that's what you're into. $50 and $100 tiers are limited, so hop on those if that's something you really want to do before they run out. And Teespring. Go to teespring.com. Look for the Creatia World site there. Everything, guys, you guys can find at Linktree. linktr.ee/Creatia World. That'll get you everywhere that you need to go. But, yeah, buy a Smackin' Raw shirt because I made them and they're awesome. Right? Right, Kate?
Yeah. They're 100% amazing.
Mm-hmm. So go do that. I've got nothing else. Oh, please, facebook.com/groups/Super Flash Year of Tomorrow. Next week, I believe, or 2 weeks, one of the two. 2 weeks. The Arrowverse will be kicking back up. We will get the final half of the Crisis on Infinite Earths. We will find out what happened, what's going to happen, and where we go. So please, if you're not caught up and you are watching those shows, go get caught up with Mara and Travis and go check out that page, like and subscribe as well, or join the group. For my extremely tired and apparently annoyed wife because she's got both dogs downstairs with her, I am the Warden Matt Ritter. Well, they are now. Ozzy was in your face. Havoc was barking and growling. They both probably want to go out, so we're going to end this here. For my wife, Kate, I am the Warden, Matt Ritter. We are Smackin' It Raw, and we are that damn... That's Ozzy, by the way. So for...
Say hi, Ozzy.
My wife, Kate. For my dog, Ozzy. For my other dog, Havoc, who's not there. For our cat, Fritz, who's somewhere running around the house. I am the Warden, Matt Ritter. We are all Smackin' It Raw, and we are that damn good.
I know, Bubs.
Kate.
Yeah.
Say bye.
Oh, bye, guys. I thought you just stopped.
Well, I always say we're that damn good, and then Travis says peace, and then it ends. So I was waiting for you to say something.
My tagline.
It ends. So I was waiting for you to say something.
My tagline can just be nothing. That'd be nice.
Okay.